What's up, guys? Welcome to the first video on the channel, and I guess we're gonna learn how to make a beat. So roll the intro. Alright, so first thing you're gonna want to do, I guess, is open up FL Studios, and you're gonna want to go in here and select a instrument. I'm gonna use Nexus. I like using Nexus. Start off, make a little piano melody, and then we build off of that. It's normally how I make my beats. I'm gonna go into my pack here that I have. It's a sample and MIDI pack. So I'm just gonna grab one of these and just throw that in here. Hear how that sounds. Alright, so that one's nice, but it's not the vibe I'm going for. Alright, so I like this MIDI and I like the way it sounds, so I'm gonna just go with that. So next thing I'm gonna do is do a little bit of adjustments, maybe bring down the velocities a little bit. So what I did right there was hit Control A, and that selects your entire looped MIDI, and then I hit Alt and scroll down on the scroll wheel, and that will allow you to move up and down the entire velocity. So it'll keep the same ratios. Like, see how these ones are lower, so as I roll up and down on the scroll wheel, it'll keep that same ratio for this being the most powerful hitting note and this being the lowest hitting note. Also, velocity is just how hard the note hits when it plays. So now I'm just gonna go back in and use a guitar VSD. I'll link this one in the description. I'm just gonna be making a counter melody now. So alright, so I'm happy with that. The focus is the main melody. The counter melody is just going to be in the background just to give a little bit of variation to the track, so it's not the same thing repeating over and over. So I'm going to just go in here, grab a clap. I like to layer my clap with like a rim shot snare. It gives it a little bit of a different sound and a little bit more unique sounding. So alright, so I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is go in and throw in some hi-hats. Alright, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the way the hi-hats came out, so now I'm just going to move on to the next drum, which would be in the way I like to do it. You could do this in whatever order you feel you want to do. I'm just gonna go in and select my kicks, or my snares, I mean. Alright, so I like the way that sounds. As a whole, don't really like the snare. I'm gonna go back in and change the snare. It's alright, but it's like, might go with a rim shot snare instead of a chop snare. Kind of like this one. Alright, I like the way that sounds. Now I'm going to throw in a snap, layered snare. You don't have to layer a snare, it's just something I like to do. You know, when you're starting off with music, there's a lot of different ways you can go about. You just have to find your style and what fits you. That's literally the main difference between every producer. They have a certain style that people like, so just find yours and you'll make a unique sounding track. It won't sound the same as everything else. Alright, now I'm going to throw in a kick. So Alright, so I like the way that sounds. Now I'm just going to go in and make the kicks hit harder by hitting this top button in the top right and then dragging these things all the way to the top, and that changes the velocity. So instead of having to go into the piano roll to do that, you just do it out here. It makes it super fast, and that's going to make your kicks hit way harder. So this is the before. That's something like how they were before, and then this is the after. So it just makes it louder, which, you know, will make it hit harder. Alright, so I like the way that sounds. All I did was add this little ghost kick, which gives the beat a little bit more of a rhythm. Now I'm just going to throw in some open hi-hats now that I have the kicks in and the claps in. So now I'm doing right now is doing a little bit of a sound design thing again. All this is going to do is make sure that when I go back into the piano roll and extend these notes out a little bit, so all this is going to do is make it so that as soon as this note stops playing, the beat, it stops. Now what I'm going to do is organize the beat, you know, throw in some 808s. I'm going to follow the bass line, which is down here. Follow this bass line and then build it off of that. So I'm gonna go back to the 808 and then scroll down here. And then like that, and then we'll bring it up 2 octaves, and then so I kind of like the way this sounded at C6. You want your 808s to hit super hard. So now all I'm gonna do is throw this in here, and then so what I'm doing now is going to the mixer, select what you want to use, click on this top right thing, go here, right click it, channel routing, route selected channels, and that's the piano. So now what I'm gonna do is go into the equalizer and throw a low pass filter, or I mean a high pass filter on it. That way it'll get rid of some of the lows, and that'll help me tremendously. You can already hear there's a big difference than the way it was before. So now I'm just going to throw an EQ on this, get rid of the highs for this low pass, and then drag that over here. So I like the way that sounds. Now what I'm gonna do is go and split everything up. A lot of producers usually make their beat on here, and I'll do that if I'm making something like super detailed and intense. This is a quick thing, just kind of a tutorial kind of thing, so I'm just trying to make it in here and then organize it. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and then catch up in the preview. Alright, so now that the beat's been arranged, all I'm gonna do is preview it, and y'all tell me how you like it in the comments.